Score-wise, it's starting to maybe become a little bit daunting to them. If they lose this game here, it's going to look even worse. You know, you kind of have the juxtaposition possibly in that second group of Stiffmeister dominating so heavily and Fish123 not so much. And this is kind of the nature of it, you know, coming into a mix, they kind of play in different teams across the board, and maybe they're not quite as dedicated to this Fish123 lineup. But we'll have to see. Cryptix picks up the first kill, immediately traded back though, and the B control has fallen by the wayside, so it looks like this bomb's going to go down with all 8 players surviving. Surreal in with a nice little tap from the CT position as they are moving their way in through Banana, but these Glocks up close and personal, it's really going to work out for them. Oh, at close range, Rez does manage to trade a couple back, doing a decent enough job, brings it back into a 2-on-2, but the defuse is going on in the middle of the smoke right now. Rez just got to try and stop it, and I don't think he realizes at all. Does manage to find a third, but T-Sack with the defuse and the final kill will get the pistol on the board for Fish123.
Yeah, I think he knew the defuse was happening. He got the call, but when you got someone running at you like that, it's extremely difficult. And one player to mention as well, I've noticed Brody's actually in this U4X lineup this week as well. Really, really good AWPer, and you know, he's a kind of guy. It's very difficult to play against as well. He can definitely be one of the game changers. So we'll have to see what he can bring to the table. And you know, nice little damage from that nade on Grip there. And as you can see, the Echo trying to get so much damage done here, but Surreal's already been taken down here by Crypt, but that doesn't matter anyway, because Cryptix and Eccles gets a couple of their own anyway. Only 3 members left for U4X. He's trying to get something done, but Cryptix comes straight from behind. Trials seeming to get anything done, which he doesn't. Roaming with that just trying to clean things up, but only Rez left remaining. Tries to get the dig, doesn't get it, and Cryptix finished things off a nice little 2K for himself.
Indeed. Relatively clean anti-eco. I mean, U4X kind of playing it very, very safe there. I think we maybe would have seen a lot of teams here tonight, and you know, a lot of teams in the scene just go for the force off the back of that one with the bomb plant. But like I said, playing it super, super safe, so they're going to have a very solid gun round coming into this. Lots of utility available, all 5 AKs in play. Surreal going to get tagged down very, very early on by that Molotov. I think his second one as well kind of fell in, and Trials with a little bit of spray down from the kind of bridge area. So that's a pretty nice opening pick. Crit as well, almost caught with the nade out, but does a great job of it, and very quickly into a 5-on-3 here. Then fails one of the easiest jumps in the game, but that's okay. That's okay. Don't worry.
We've done it before. I do it. Every 1 out of 10, I missed that jump. I say 1 out of 10, probably like 3 or 4 out of 10 actually, depending on like if they're panic buttons and if they push through mid, which T-Sack has actually done, funny enough. And managed to get a cheeky on Emperor there, but Trials has come behind. Very crucial 2 kills there just to clean things up. And Eccles is the last man standing here. He's going to try and get something done, but with that molly and smoke, maybe Sailor V here, and he'll have to just either go for his exits. He can potentially go for it, but it's looking pretty bleak. It's a tall order for him here. Rez just may take him off guard if he pushes around this long side, which he does. Rez just goes straight in anyway, no holds barred, and cleans up Eccles there. So at least U4X get that first one on the board.
And immediately Fish123 playing on the back foot in this round as well. Not a great deal of economic stability. So they're going to have to take this one on the chin. Buying up a little bit. Surreal Deeg tilting already. We're only 4 rounds in, and he's straight in there with the armor and the Deeg, spending a fair amount of cash on it as well. So probably gonna have to pick up a couple fraggies to make it worthwhile. But U4X looking pretty good for them if they can cleanly get this one on the board, start building up that economy. It starts looking quite scary early on, and again, you know, we've seen it a fair few times this evening. T-side momentum can be very, very devastating. To be fair, T-Sack though, he opens up on towards Emperor in the second mid position.
Yeah, and Cryptix, even though he's very weak on that 3 HP, he does have that scout 4 from that B side just to keep him at bay, and just especially if they don't move in any way. Echoes is probably getting a little bit prangy, a little bit waiting. It's getting scattered from mine the whole time, but just managed to get taken down there by Brody. Doesn't really get a chance to fight anyways, but T-Sack is there to try and help things out. Doesn't make any difference at all. And I mentioned before at the start, you know, Brody in this lineup can definitely change things here, especially for this team. Got 3K already. Could potentially get an ace if Fish do try and push up and try and get the retake, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just wait for these exits here.
Yeah, I suppose Surreal upgrades the MP5. That's always nice. But again, like I say, that economic situation that they're in is really not great early on. You know, they're already making very simple mistakes, very simple communicative mistakes. That's a nice Molotov, I guess. Surreal burns out crit as he was a little bit too passive in that angle, and slight tag from Roma will make for an easy kill. He's just trying to pick up another, even, you know, keep him down towards the bomb, and Surreal goes down eventually. Getting a little bit greedy there, I suppose, but in all fairness, 4 players taken down despite not spending all that much. Only Brody surviving. Gets himself that flashy little 4K. It's not quite the ace, but, you know, close enough, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's good enough. A nice little 4K for him. And I was going to say as well, with Crit, when he was in that molly, he was trying to be as passive as possible to try and catch him off guard before he jumps out, but it wasn't the case. And gets taken down anyway, gets a little bit of economic damage done, and very, very aggressive play. Brady was hopefully to try and get the odd shot, but not utility damage there done for Fish. But Eccles is going to wait patiently to see if anyone does try and push. And right now, U4X are just trying to get some kind of map control here, just trying to get a little bit of info of exactly what's going on. Trials just waiting to see if anyone does push through Boiler, which won't be the case, as you can see from the position. But here, this could be game change here. Roma managed to get one, managed to get 2 there. So very interesting push there by Fish, but it works out for him nicely in the end. Already 2 members down for U4X, but it looks like they are going to try and focus on this B site. But Brody had that really aggressive AWP play on Banana. Doesn't really get anything out of it, but the only thing you can say, he managed to get that banana control for. So they are going to try and execute here. Echoes is waiting on that CT just to see if he can catch anyone off guard. Just look away to see if anyone gets flashed, but doesn't anyway. Managed to take out Emperor straight after Cryptics. Takes out Res, but Brady's right in front of him with that AWP. Couldn't really get too much done anyway, and Fish. Nice little easy round for him. That push definitely changed things for him. Yeah,
it was a beautiful little setup. You don't see it too often. It can be very, very risky, you know, if you don't pick up kind of both the kills there, or maybe there's 3 or 4 players that move in towards the apps. It's very difficult to work with the lack of info, and if you go down there, you lose so much A control. So they kind of had to come out on top of that fight, not even just kind of trading it 2 for 2. They very much needed to win it, which they did. You know, like I say, great little setup, catches the U4X guys off guard, and when things are not going your way, especially on the CT side of things, you can get a bit of a desperation play out the back pocket with some coordinated aggression and try and force the issue. Works out in that case. We've got attack pause coming in. Not 100% sure who by, but very early on, I like to see this. You know, this is a very important game for both these teams, and they are respecting the effectiveness of those tactical pauses rather than, you know, using them kind of as the panic mode later on in the game, as we see more often than not, unfortunately.
Yeah, at least they're not doing it when it's like, yeah, like 15-14 minutes, so 15-14, what am I talking about? Anything like that. So, you know, it's kind of one of those situations, like, yes, I saw some teams in the past do it on the very last round, and I'm just like, well, okay, I suppose if you haven't used it in the earlier rounds, then fair enough. But yeah, I assume that's going to be U4X with the pause there, just to discuss exactly what's going to happen, what are they going to do, and to see what changes they are going to make. Because, you know, Fish are pretty strong on this, and you know, with Brody being on U4X, they can definitely change things up. If it was a different lineup, then they'd probably struggle a little bit more. But Brody being on that team, it's going to be a lot more sufficient. But then in the end, you've got Eccles on Fish instead of Rattlesnake here, and it's going to change things up a lot.
Again, though, we talk about the previous game where there was a little bit of lack of communication, which ended up in a bit of sloppy CS and it getting very close, and, you know, comebacks that maybe shouldn't have gone as far as they did. Maybe that's going to come into play a little bit here. The stand-ins can often make a difference, but I suppose at least they're on an even playing field across the board. Great nade damage coming on through, but still got to be careful not to get overwhelmed by these pistols. Cryptic misses the first shot. Eccles in a bit of a sticky pickle here, but the quick rotations coming on through, and Cryptic's recovering it well with the AWP. Does mean that they will probably eventually secure this round. Crit has picked up one onto Surreal, to be fair, trying to find another, but saved there. Cryptic's very lucky indeed to make it away with the AWP in that round. But 4-on-2, or 4-to-2, I should say. Fish123 now starting to, you know, edge ahead a little bit more, looking fairly consistent with the rifles in these past couple of rounds.
Yeah, it's not looking too bad for Fish. Having a little bit of a giggle now, just enjoying themselves a bit, stabilising a bit more forward here. We'll have to see exactly what kind of answer U4X have. Surreal may try and go for a slightly aggressive push here. Decides not to, pulls back a little bit just in case U4X get very aggressive, but so far pretty standard as you can see. Echoes does have that banana control now, which is very important here, and to see exactly how things go. Cryptics gets a nice little shot on Brody there, big kill for them to start things off. Took a little bit of utility damage, but not enough to keep him at bay.
No, it's a good trade-off. He'll be happy with that, you know, only taking 19 damage, so going to be able to kind of hold down B on his own now. This is pretty solid, classic Inferno, you know, the old iteration. We saw this quite a bit. But we'll see, the nature of Inferno on the T side, you have a lot of power in at middle. It's a fair amount of damage done with the utility as well on towards Surreal. Rez able to trade out one at short, but there's still 3 players to deal with directly on this A site. Certainly easier said than done, and as you can see, U4X kind of second-guessing themselves, probably going to make their way back over towards B, and they're going to meet Cryptics in just a few moments here. Only 40 seconds remaining. It does look like, I think they're pretty sure of this B hit. Cryptics with the perfect angle, picks up one, backs away, doesn't go for the repeat. 4 on 2, and I don't know, it's not looking so good for U4X.
Yeah, I think T-Sec now is just going through apps a little bit just to see what he can find. He's going to realise that push is going to be at B. Cryptics gets another one of his own. One more will make it 4K, and he does. Nice little 4K for Cryptics there. Pretty much holding that site on his own, but that banana under control, which they got to begin with, really helped him out here. 11-3 now he's going. Pretty tasty stuff, mate.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
It's all right.
Yeah,
seen worse.
For sure. You know, not naming any names.
No, I'm not. Cryptic's going AFK just a little bit because just to enjoy his 4K moment. But yeah, it's going to see what happens here. It's going to be quite a quick one probably for this round. U4X just want to see what they can do with a D, a couple of, sorry, a Tech 9 and a CZ. Echo's quite aggressive with his banana push there. The bomb's already been dropped, so they've already got a sight on that. And Echo's already with that 2Ks. Looking for more, but the last 2 members now round apps. He's going to try and be a little bit cheeky to try and get behind him here. We'll see if Charles does actually realise this. May get a little bit tight, but he does, but Sally doesn't take him out. Nice 3K there by Eccles to finish things off.
Yeah, the Eco Warrior, you know, always good for the stat pattern. But once again, Fish123, good accumulator round coming in from them. They are starting now to get the ball rolling, get their confidence back a little bit after losing those 2 initial rifle rounds, you know, after the pistol and whatnot. And now, like I say, starting to edge ahead. U4X need to figure out what's going on. We kind of assuming they had a pause coming on through, and it's not done a great deal, unfortunately, so far. Great banana control with the utility from Fish123. It worked out perfectly in the past couple rounds, so why not try and go for it consistently? That was a close one. That was a close one. Roma almost getting his head clapped a little bit through the wall. There's obviously a lot of wallbang spots in the apartments.
Cryptics his being a little bit aggressive just to see if he can catch one off guard, which he does. Managed to take down Rez there. Brody is still on banana though, so he's still waiting to see what he can do. Emperor is with him, but we do have Roma and Trials around that apps as well. So just trying to see what they can do here, but still not enough info to see what they can do. But Cryptics, his AWP has been so good since the start of the game, and they're just trying to, they're just pretty much struggling to actually trying to find a way, but it doesn't matter anyway. As I said that, Brody managed to trade him off after like the next 30 seconds of when he turned that down in banana, and it seems like they will all be going through B. They do not rotate anyway. Eccles does take down Brody anyway. Surreal gets one of his own on Trials. There's only 2 members left here. Eccles is trying to see what he can do. Does spam through the smoke, doesn't really get anywhere with that sadly, but Crit's only on 5 HP. It's not looking too good. Gets taken down by Surreal. Emperor gets nice little 2K to try and stop things, but doesn't matter anyway. As you can see now, Fish extending their lead 7-2 now.
Yeah, that's probably the closest that U4X have got for a while. You know, but again, unfortunately, just not quite able to execute towards the end. The post plant's not great, and honestly, I feel that Inferno B bomb site is probably the hardest to retake in the game, and the fact that Fish123 are able to quite easily just walk over U4X there is slightly worrying, to say the least. Again, comes down to a coordination issue, not great crossfires and things like that being set up on the post plants. Can certainly make things a bit harder for you. But here we go, into another rifle round. You know, the loss bonus really stacking up now for U4X, will be at that maximum. And of course, the plant money on the T side of things means that they are able to string together a bit of a buy. Cryptics, was that a wall bang? Ooh, wow, okay. Brody though, leading the way here in through Banana, takes down Eccles pretty easily. It's going to draw a rotation away from A relatively quickly, and they're not really dedicating to B as yet. So playing it well, you know, the mind games from U4X at this point in time, certainly proving effective.
Yeah, it looks like we've got both AWPs on that B site, so they could be asking for trouble if they do try and go for an execute. Brody is just hanging around Banana just due to the fact that he's got that control. There's no point actually leaving it, and you never know. We've seen Cryptic before where he will actually push a little bit to see if he can get any info, and he did get a frag before, but we'll have to see what happens here. Surreal decides to do it himself. Sadly gets it taken down. Brody's been waiting for that for so long and finally got that kill, but Cryptic's managed to get one on Brody, but will he be able to get any more? He's not going to be able to delay the rotate that much since Emperor and Crypt managed to push in straight away, but T-Sack is coming straight from behind now, so even though it's 3v3, Fish do have a fair few angles here.
Ooh, that was a pretty important fight for Crit to win. Unfortunately not quite able to do so. Trial's going to have to get two here. You can see the panic kind of setting in. Does get the first, but immediately traded back. All onto Emperor in a 1-on-2. I don't really know where he's playing from. The bomb not planted for him, unfortunately, but he does actually manage to make his way back around here, so he could quite easily catch them off guard, and T-Sack facing the wrong way, gets the spray down through the smoke as well, as Cryptics, unfortunately, just kind of has to go for the hold with how far tick the bomb was, and positional play from Emperor in the end secures the third round for U4X.
Yeah, nice little cheeky play there. I suppose with Emperor, he managed to rotate around Ruins. They're trying to, like, trial and error exactly where he was. Just a little bit too late there, sadly for them, but I'm sure for Fish, it won't bother them too much anyway. It seems like U4X have to try and get clutch rounds just to try and get anything going, and the push Surreal made earlier kind of what messed things up a little bit. And Cryptis, even though he managed to stop one, he couldn't stop any of the others anyway. But looking at things now, Resd and Crit have taken a little bit of utility damage already to start things off, but U4X attempted to go for that B push again, even though it's one they've been struggling on the most. It's the one they seem to be most keen on here, but have to see exactly what happens. So, but at least they've got that banana control here, and Crit now is just lurking around second mid, lurking around apps to see if he can actually find anything, and Brody's just waiting patiently for that other kill, but Surreal's not going to fall for it this time round compared to the last one.
Yeah, I feel like Fish123 in full control of this game. We give them the banana control, but they're kind of happy to do that. As again, you know, they sort of cage them in, playing around the strategy of Fish123 here, U4X, a nice little deep smoke. They are going to try and get a bit cheeky on the edge of it, probably a flash to follow up, but Cryptics, if you pulled the trigger, oh, unfortunately though, like I say, that flash works out well. Surreal was set up for a bit of a nasty spray down, but immediately dealt with. Eccles, though, in towards Dark is that unknown quantity, buying time for his teammates at this point in time. Has already picked up a kill. I think eventually going to go down. He does, but still a 2-on-2. Quick rotations coming in. Some nice hops from Roma through the ruins into a 1-on-1 though, as the nades and the AWP shots land. Brody going to get that bomb down. You spoke about earlier how effective he was on said AWP. There is a kit available for T-Sack. He gets his hands onto an M4 now as well.
That's right. It's always been, Brody's always been a good AWPer anyway, but been good rifling in this game anyway, but this is going to be a chance he needs to shine here, of course. T-Sack isn't going to try and go for this. Hasn't really got enough info where he could be, but now Brody knows exactly where he is, but T-Sack does have a clue, and Brody does manage to take him down anyway to clean up that last round anyway. So, well played by Brody with all that patience, but T-Sack there, I was hoping, well, I assume he was hoping to be able to catch him off guard around U-Box or something like that, but it just wasn't the case there. So, U4X slowly catching up on the rounds, but it's still a tall order because I know how Fish, how good they can be, but quite strange because I know how well they've been on that B side with that banana control early and anything like that, but they haven't really had much banana control for the last couple of rounds, which has cost them a little bit.
Yeah, it seems so. Not even kind of vying for it. We saw how effective Cryptics has been on that AWP, and not giving him the early opportunities to get some nice fast picks is obviously not going to be great. T-Sack managing to cheekily push down middle a little bit. It is kind of being watched by Brody, but maybe a question of timing, a question of the lack of info. I think the fact that he's kind of hidden here, he might be able to get a cheeky frag at some point. Does sort of depend. Oh no, he's going to get spotted out by Trials quite easily. Unfortunately, he can't hide in that corner solidly. So the first pick goes the way of Trials. So 5 and 4. Very quickly indeed. Again, you don't expect a great deal from Fish123 as well. Is a bit of a B stack coming in from them, and unfortunately the bomb looks to be making its way towards A. So Surreal gonna have to pop off here. I think it's certainly easier said than done. Might be able to creep in and deny the bomb actually. They are kind of cut off on this T side of things, but unfortunately goes onto the wrong side of the smoke. Looks like U4X dodge a bullet there, and it will most likely be the 5th round for them.
Yeah, that's right. Quick man to get the clean up on Boiler there. Nothing too much to say really here, of course, like you mentioned before. There's only so much they can do. Even if they go for it, then at least they can try and get some exits and try and get some guns on the board just to go through to that next round.
Yeah.
Troll's having a little wander, having a little look around to see what he can find, window shop and what else, but at this stage, not really too much. But oh, Critics almost got Trials there, but Trials must have clean up anyway. But Eccles, one and done. That was it for him. Nothing else going for him there. And another round on the board for U4X.
Yeah, they are starting to now, you know, more cleanly get those rounds on the board. Taking a quick look at the all stats.
Eccles with that utility damage.
Yeah,
266. Boy. He's been having a laugh at that one, hasn't he?
Yeah, for sure. Again, though, enemies flashed. Everybody, you know, gotta work it up a little bit. I feel like 10 is kind of a good average to have in one half. So maybe there's a couple players that could get to that, but it sort of depends, I suppose. Again, this is kind of the whole team issue type thing. There's no solid structure to both these teams, it seems. They are, again, slightly mixy style play, slightly puggy style play. I don't think there is someone that is like a solid support type player. T-Sac's kind of been a little bit there in the past, but again, it's difficult to work around when you don't have a playbook, so to speak.
Yeah, it's kind of like two mixes going up against each other here, which is quite understandable. That's probably why Mirage was banned so early on anyway. And well, or you could say Train ×2. I don't know. Maybe it's the new, maybe it's the new Train. I have absolutely no clue. But T-Sac in a good spot, but does show his position a bit early from that flash. Does get taken down by Crit, but Surreal managed to trade him off anyway. Keeps them back, but now they know that rotation's on. Brody's going straight in. No mucking about here with that AWP to see if he can get him for that rotation, but the thing is, though, Cryptix is already there now with that CZ, but Eccles is still there waiting for him. Managed a fantastic flash there. Managed to get 2. He's trying to get a 3rd, and it just barely doesn't. And there's only 2 players left now, Emperor and Charles, both weak as anything, and gets cleaned up there by Surreal. Nice, juicy little 3K for him there. Yeah,
indeed. I mean, talking about the flashbangs, they were pretty nasty in that round, all across the board. You know, U4X get that initial pick. You know, on the player up towards the boost of short, and then the 2 flashes from the CTs to pretty much end it, especially that one for Eccles. Executes it perfectly though, you know, they were blinded up. He needs to pick up 1 or 2 in that kind of situation. He's by himself, needs to stay alive and buy time for the rotations, and like I say, does so perfectly. So great team play from Fish123, in all fairness. Very simple flashbang, but it pays dividends. And U4X going to be on another buy again. The loss bonus sort of stacking up a little bit, and bomb plants and whatnot mean they are going to be able to get rifles, but not a great deal of utility. Brody on his trusty AWP, but again, not really given an opportunity to get an early pick. So we're almost a minute in here, and it's not been a great deal of action so far.
Yeah, the only thing to mention now is that U4X are kind of getting a bit suffocated here. Banana, they haven't got really much control of that at all. You've got Eccles just sitting there waiting for anyone to push there with that flash ready. But they haven't even got many apps to control either. But if they push that A site, it's not going to look too good. You've already got 4 members there. So 1 around library and 1 arch, and 1 on site and 1 in pit now. So it's going to be quite a difficult one. They could be in a death sentence here if they do push that site, because they've got so many angles now. Even though they push slowly here, Surreal now is just waiting for him around that long side to try and get some damage done, but he hasn't found anything yet, but managed to get Trials anyway. But Brody comes in with that AWP face first. No mucking about from him here, but he's going to push in anyway. T-Sac is in that pit, waiting for it now, but Roma's let 1 go past. Managed to take 1 down. Rez trade him off anyway. Quick took out T-Sac whilst he was in pit there, so it's going to be 2v3 now. It's going to be a little bit of a difficult one, but saying that, Brody's just been taken down now, so it's going to be 2v2 in Crit with only 9 HP, so this is definitely doable for Fish if they play their cards right. And Crit now is going to see if he can find him or run that long side just to get enough info for Rez, but I think they're just going to try and hide it out and play for time, see what they can do. But Crit misses only a couple of shots, but helps Rez out anyway, and Crit managed to clean up that second one anyway. Great play from those guys considering the circumstances they were in, pushing those 4 on the east side.
Pretty difficult crossfire as well to deal with, both headshot angles, so you need to be on point with your aim. You know, you can't really rely on the spray. It is going to come down to the one-taps from the CTs on the retake, and unfortunately they just weren't really able to find them fast enough. If they'd have taken down Crit initially, kind of while he was isolated for just a second before Rez peaked, then maybe there would have been a chance for the trade on the player directly on the site, but unfortunately, like I say, just not quite crisp enough with the aim, and it does give U4X the opportunity to pick up the easier frags and therefore the round. So another close matchup, it would seem, so far. Set for the 8-7, one would expect, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. Fish123 with a bit of a weak buy, no kits available, going to need to find some initial picks. I'm not really sure if they're going to come that way. Taking a quick look at the mini-map, it is seemingly not all that much happening at this point in time. U4X just vying to wait for a bit of aggression and play off the back of a pick that they could find, but no one is really biting on the Fish123 side.
Yeah, nothing at all, but the main thing is the fact that U4X do have that banana control anyway, so it's up to them what they want to do with it, if they want to push or they want to go into this, but there's 3 of them already around that B side, so it's definitely tempting, but Fish haven't really got too much info to find out exactly if they're going to push from A or not, but they're going to know now anyway, as Emperor is going to go straight in face first, but Cryptix managed to take him out straight away, pulls back a little bit from CT, but Surreal gets some nice digs there, nice little 2K, oh, and almost a 3-1 there, but Eccles managed to clean that one up anyway, and Brody gets cleaned up nicely there. That 2K with the Deagle and the damage done on that third one, Surreal really punished him for that mistake there.
Well, because you kind of expect only one player to be in at CT at that point. They read it really well on the Fish side to rotate a player across kind of preemptively and then also boost him up. So there's a lot of unprecedented information that U4X, you know, don't have, and they neglect to kind of check the angles. There's also the player on the site. It's a really, again, a difficult crossfire. We can kind of see sometimes maybe a deeper CT smoke closer towards the B site itself can make it harder for that player up on the boost. But, you know, Cryptix as well with the perfect timing, peeking from the smoke, always a classic. Just before it comes in, you peek out, get a kill, back away because you're in the smoke and they can't see you. You know, so I think it was really well played by Fish on that B-bomb side. The 3 of them working, again, beautifully off of each other. So maybe the team play is starting to come through as we get into the second half pistol. Kit available for Emperor. And there's a little bit of utility. I'm not quite sure what I was trying to say there, in all honesty. For
Your English is better than mine, it's fine.
Fair enough. I'll take that. But either way, aggression up middle. They are trying to take down this player on long. Oh, not quite able to do so. Brody actually survives against all the odds. 3 quick frags coming in for the CT side. T-Sac with a little bit of the Matrix coming on through. Will manage to pick up a kill, but Brody hidden on the site, picks up 1. And I think it's pretty much secured it here as Surreal, the only one remaining. Maybe I have cursed it though, as he's into the one-on-one. Spots out Emperor, going to try and go for the bomb plant.
Yeah, it's looking very good for him. You were right to say that, you know, weren't in the best of spots, but Surreal with his cleanups, and he's in such a great spot as well. He's, again, I think that could be around long anyway, and he's just bouncing around just to see if he can find it, but oh, it doesn't really get taken out, but he does anyway. Surreal, that 3K to end things, and Fish doing a fantastic job killing up for that important pistol round to take away from U4X there. And funny enough, we haven't really done any Fish facts, have we? We've not done any at all today, so I'm going to bring one up here to see what I can find. All right. And I've got one here. Okay. And did you know? Fast. It was. See, yeah, you know, Jackie's not the only one with the Fish facts, mate. I've got a few up my sleeve. But it says here, since a fish's jaw is not attached to its skull, many fishes can shoot their mouths forward like a spring to catch startled prey. So that's kind of what Surreal did. Just went straight at him. Yeah, mate. So that syncs up quite well. Like Matrix Fish. Yeah, for sure. But C-Sac anyway goes straight in, gets that first kill on the board against Emperor. And now a lot of them are quite damaged from earlier, but it doesn't matter. They do try and take out Trials, and sure enough they do. Brody gets 1, but that's not going to help too much anyway. Brody is the last man alive here around that mid, and it looks like they're not going to get that bomb down. It seems like they're going to rotate A anyway, even though we're in a good spot. But Brody, you know, manages to get another one, so at least he does get 2 here, but you have to get an ace to finish the job on this round, which ain't going to happen. Cyril cleans up there, and Fish up 11-6.
Yeah, to be fair, though, he picks up 2 kills, and I mean, $600 from the SMG kill bonus, not all bad, you know, free money, essentially, and kind of allows him to solidly pull out the AWP into this round, so maybe could be a bit of a difference maker. As that one supermarket says, every little helps. You know?
Yeah.
Indeed. So, I mean, we'll have to see at this point in time whether being able to get the full armor and the AWP out is going to help him. No, it's not, because he's the first to fall over towards A after all that. Eccles just makes quick work in that middle. Will get traded out by Crit, not quite able to pick up that second. 9 HP, gets the quick dink, but it's actually a B hit coming through and walked all over right here. Surreal and Cryptic's making quick work of the B hold, leaving Rezd all on his lonesome.
Yeah, that brand's not really helping at this stage. Even though it's one of my favourite brands, U4X ain't going to help him at all at this stage. You could say about the M4, but the whole every little help slogan is not going to help him here. Fromer takes him out, and he doesn't. So, yeah, maybe it might help out a little bit. At least he gets an AK for himself. But look at this. So, Fish are swarming around him like there's no tomorrow to see if I can catch him. And they do. Cyril doing his usual thing, taking out the last guy the last couple of rounds on the trot. But looking at the KDs, Brody 17 and 14. Pretty good stuff from him across the board. And look at the other side, Cyril 20 and 12 with Eccles going 16-11, but Cryptic's 19 and 9 with that fantastic CT half he had with that B controlled AWP.
Really, really good stuff so far. Fish kind of dominating. This is what we sort of talked about. Sure, they're a bit more of a mixy side, but they've got the heavy fraggers, the big names. Great damage done though. Oh my god, Roma counting his lucky stars to survive on 2 HP there. They will be kind of kicking themselves when they watch the VOD back after on the U4X side, unfortunately, you know. All about fractions at the end of the day when it comes to the nade plays, and 3K coming in for TSAC, earning bank on the MP5. Will be a 13th round for Fish123. It is starting to look a little bit scary, a little bit dominant, as they are in prime position to close this game out.
Yeah, that was a close one. They, you know, you saw where Roma was almost sent to the nether realm with those nades there on Banana, but managed to stay alive, 2 HP. We weren't too bad, but attack pause, you know, absolutely necessary at this stage. You know, you've got to try and make that at least a 9 round come up for OT, 10 to actually finish the job. But, you know, Fish knew to begin, they needed to win, you know. They've lost 3 on the trot. They're not feeling, you know, like their true selves. They're probably like a bit hacked off, you could say, a little bit tilted. But, you know, with Eccles coming in instead, it's kind of helped things quite a lot. We've seen how well he's doing on banana control with Cryptics early in that first half. But, you know, I'm not too sure what U4X could do here. The only thing I can maybe suggest is get a little bit more info earlier on to decide exactly what's going to happen. But Fish are just a lot more faster paced, and I think the play style of U4X is just not doing anything for them. But going back into the game now, we'll have to see if U4X have made any decent enough changes. But look at the buy on Fish so far. A little bit greedy with the the 3 SMGs, the AK and the AWP, but we'll have to see how this pans out.
Aye, might as well, you know. If it works, it works. Kind of the cheeky bonus. In this case, it's a little bit of a safer one, though. I like to see the AWP in play and then Cryptics leading the way on the AK in towards apartments. But yeah, I mean, U4X allowing Fish123 to just play their own game again. Crit does manage to pick up 1. Rez chiming in with one of his own as well. As yet to be dealt with. Great little crossfire once again. Leaves it in a 3-on-2. Now a 3-on-1. Now a 2-on-1. There's so many kills coming in just all over the shop. It is Eccles in the 1 versus 2. You've been singing his praises all evening. Let's see if he can clutch something incredible. It was the 1-on-3 initially. Brings it back into a bit more of a doable situation, but certainly going to be difficult for the AWP, and Emperor might just be able to catch him off guard if he peeks at the right time. I don't think he's quite going to be fast enough, though. Looks like B is right for the taking for Eccles.
And he's in a perfect spot as well. It's going to be completely uncontested. Like you said, they are trying to go for that Brucey bonus on the Fish side, but it wasn't to be. But doesn't matter anyway. It could still be now. Eccles, we've not still killed it on trials, but it's only Emperor left, and it's going to be quite a tough one. Even though Eccles has the AWP, it should do him justice depending on his position on where he thinks they're going to go. But it does make the assumption he could come from CT, because let's be honest, he did come from Banana, so it's going to be one of the very few places to expect. But look at that though, Emperor is going round room, is walking into doom, and sadly for him, Eccles does clean up nicely. 4K from him to finish that round off, and could be the game changer for this match.
Yep. I think this is kind of where we pull out all the cliches, you know, the final nail in the coffin, the salt in the wound, kick in the teeth, all those kind of phrases. A situation like that is really not all that great, letting the AWP in the 1-on-3. Ultimately, letting him get the bomb down and get into such good post-plant positions, and a little bit greedy, isolating the 1 versus 1s, you know, trying to get the frag a bit earlier rather than playing as the duo, is the perfect situation for the AWP. You know, he could not be happier to be put there. He just needs to connect the shots at the end of the day, and he does so. Surreal going to open up on towards Banana, leaving Emperor all by himself, also on half HP with just the Famis. I think this is last chance saloon for U4X at this point in time. He'll be holding a little bit passively, peeks out, immediately taken down. Eccles just feeling it on the AWP recently. 3 more players remain on the U4X side, and a small amount of hope remains as well, I feel, but firmly getting locked out of this side. Brody going to go down, res, crit, not really all that much that they can do. Res with a nice little off angle, going to drop the AWP, but 4-on-2 retake on towards B with no utility to speak of and no kits, I think is pretty much impossible at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, they have little hope, but yeah, it's not going to make too much difference in all fairness. I think Fish is literally just smashing them about the place, left, right and centre, and it's not giving them a chance now. This T-side of Fish has been very, very strong and very hard to capitalise, and U4X just, again, just don't have an answer. You know, it's not the rotations or anything like that. Just Fish just seems to be, outgunning them, as to actually play quite well in terms of their coordination. But even then, even now, they're trying to like at least save their guns or get the exits. But at least Quick gets 2 of his own to back off. But even then, they've got to win 9 rounds on the trot to take it to OT, and it's looking pretty bleak.
Yeah, I mean, easier said than done for any caliber of team at the end of the day, to be honest with you. Especially on the kind of economy that U4X have got. Red's going to be able to pad his utility and kits and whatnot, but 2 SMGs, a FAMAS in play, very, very little utility to work with. And U4X, one of the things, they've not been very proactive on the CT side, which is something that, you know, I think Fish123 did themselves to get back into it on the CT side. They took matters into their own hands, tried to go for a bit of, you know, early aggression to pick up some early picks and make things easier for them, whereas U4X have not really done that a great deal. I say that, Trials does go in off the back of a flashbang to take down Surreal, and he's been great on the entry frags for Fish123, so that's certainly going to ease some of the pressure. They have the man advantage. It is now a question of what U4X do with it.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely difficult here. Trials managed to get another one down. Only 3 left for Fish here, and it's going to be quite hard to decide exactly what they want to do, but T-Sat's going to get a bit ballsy here to try and push in and see what he can do. Gets taken down by Emperor in the end, with only Eccles and Cryptics remaining here. So it seems like they will be pulling back from Banana with the bomb. Eccles having a little fun with the chickens, and as he can do, because he knows he's got quite a lot of rounds to spare, managed to get killed anyway by Crit. Straight afterwards, probably gave his position a little bit.
Yeah, he's just running around like with his knife out in apartment, so kind of ask him for it.
Yeah, he fancies a bit of chicken and chips, and he's just trying to get it cooking on that second mid, but gave away his position, so he won't be having that anyway. Emperor managed to clean up, but 8 more rounds is required for U4X's side against Fish. And looking at the stats now, Surreal 23 and 15, 20-11 for Cryptics, to Eccles 22 and 13, all across the board, nearly a 2k here, and it's extremely, extremely hard to say. Surreal with 3 KD as well is really impressive stuff, but
nasty.
Yeah, exactly. And what U4X need to do now is a little short of a miracle, I'll probably say.
Yeah, for sure. Again, we're kind of in that dignity-saving realm at this point in time to just get a few more rounds on the board. I guess maybe the round difference might actually count for something towards the end of the season, but that is pretty much the best-case scenario for them at this point. Brody going to get tagged up early, naded down to 11 HP as well. Left on that B-bomb site by himself. Why is he still here by himself? Where are the rotations right now? He's so very low. There's so much noise being made. Emperor does make his way over, but even then, I feel like they need a little bit more pressure. It's a very passive A setup, and there's no one really making any moves over there for Fish123 at all. Ooh, Emperor, though, just managed to get one off the back of his Molotov, bit of a crazy spray down. Surreal going to get tagged down to 25 HP. So a 4-on-4, definitely a winnable one for U4X in all fairness. Yeah,
175 damage utility done there around that kind of area, and you know they're trying to get the booster, trying to pick up the guy at Coffins, but it just wasn't the case. But it's still a little bit early so far. Still 4 members remaining. Brody, of course, with that AWP. I spoke about his AWP before. Great stuff, but does get traded by Surreal in the end. But Eccles and Cryptics managed to go in the end. And Crit and Rez did the last 2 remaining to try and save the game. But as he was spamming that AK, Surreal just popped in and just like, no, after that bomb, mate, no problem. Oh. As you can see there. But saying that, he got naded as he was planting the bomb. So it's only Eccles left. And we've seen him do a 1v2 before. He's going to try and do it again. Gets 1, then it's only Crit remaining. Waving that PMC banner, and he does. Nicely done by him. Slowly but surely catching up to those 15 rounds, but like I said before, still pretty close to a miracle, but definitely not impossible.
No. No, it's not impossible. Seen it happen, almost, in the previous game, in fact. So,
true.
You know, it's a little bit easier, though, to be fair, because that match point looming over you every single round, you just get the like, you know, and then it comes up on the screen. It's pretty scary stuff when you are trying
CS soundboard.
Mount on the comeback. Listen, I don't think I get any work as a CS soundboard.
No.
In all honesty, we'll have to do a bit of a round of that, though. You know what I mean, like making gun noises. I think that's happened before on Prem, hasn't it?
I'm not really too sure. If it has, then I'm disappointed because that means it should have been created ages ago. But it's looking now. Twitch has taken another one down. Brody took one earlier, so there's only 3 members left for Fish, as you can see. As we're talking about that soundboard, which we're going to create now, stolen from the idea, probably see from a previous week. And it's only T-Sac and Eccles remaining here. Crit's got the bomb in his sights, and it's going to be a pretty tough one here for Fish to even try and come back. But then again, T-Sac does take out Emperor, but Trials trades him off nicely. So only 1 person left. Eccles all on his Larry here to see if he can do anything. Crit's still waiting for him patiently with that bomb, but just giving Eccles no luck at all. Brody cleans things up here. Nice job by him. 3K to clean up that round, and 15-9 now. So it was 15-6, but got a few more rounds on the board, so we'll have to see how Fish can clean this up.
I suppose, would you call it like a klaxon at the start of the round? That probably would have been a little bit of a less embarrassing way to go about it, I think, just calling it the match point klaxon. You're talking
to a guy who's got not very much vocabulary, so...
Fair enough. It's just a loud noise or whatever. I don't know. It's daunting was my point, you know what I mean? It's a bit scary when it comes up every single round after round for a potential, what, like 8 in a row or whatever they needed. Redstone going to get aggressive in towards second middle. Does manage to find Roma P. It will be the 4-man attack on towards the B-bomb site. This economic situation at the moment for Fish123 is not really all that great. They've not got the best of buys. They've got an AK and a Galil, I guess. Brody with a nice little flick, but T-Sac comes in with the 2K to make things look a little bit more doable. He's going to get his hands onto the AWP, but dealt with by Emperor. So a 3-on-2 retake. Still easier said than done over towards this B site. They're able to get themselves into some pretty decent positions, but it's only Cryptics with anything to write home about, in all honesty. A terrible flashbang, but Surreal manages to get the kill nonetheless. Also backs away and gets a second. No way, not like this, boys. The CZ coming out on top of things. Emperor, as the smoke dissipates, can't quite find the kill and will get taken down. Surreal in with the 3K, and well, that is that, 16-9. Fish123, you don't expect them to take it, but Surreal with a beautiful little play at CT steals that one away towards the end.